good afternoon, or good morning, depending on where you are joining us from. And welcome to Kermi's Winter Spring 2026 release webinar, where we are going to give you an inside look at Flow 9.1 and share a sneak peek of our newest ServiceNow app. I'm Brittany McGee. I lead global marketing here, and I am joined today by Jeff Dillon. Jeff, you want to say hi?
Sure. I'm one of the technical account managers here for North America in Kermi.
Great. Excited to have everyone here today. Just a quick what to expect in the next 45 minutes from us. We'll do a quick intro, especially if you're new, let you know who Kermi is and a little bit about Flow. We'll talk, as we always do in these webinars, about what we're seeing in the market, kind of set the stage for diving into how we got to Flow 9.1. Then we'll talk about high-level overview, what's new in Flow 9.1, and then we'll get to the real meat of our program, which I know everyone is here and excited for, our live demos. And then we'll end just how can you get Flow 9.1, and then we'll do Q&A after. So we're trying to, and you can hold us to this, we're trying to get to the question and answer part by 2:30, 11:30, depending on where you're at, so that we can really get into your questions, or let you go early. Anyway. So we are Kermi. We build Flow, which is our UC&C management platform. We've been building this platform since 2011, so been around 15 years. We're actually celebrating our big birthday in July, which is really exciting. In those 15 years, we've expanded to be a global company with locations here in New York, abroad in Paris, and Rennes, which is also in France, which is our headquarters. We have people in Berlin, Dubai, and then with our recent acquisition of YarnLab, we have an outpost now in Sydney, Australia. So excited to have them on the team. We've got customers also all around the globe, and we're really designed for large enterprises and managed service providers. You'll see that the platform really works best when you're scaling it to manage the large numbers of users. And then also, like, if you don't know, we saw a bunch of customers on this. One of the best things about Flow is just how highly configurable it is to manage your complex environments. Jeff, did I miss anything on the who we are, what we do, real quick?
So a lot of you might already be familiar with the name Kermi. And if you haven't heard this already, it's kind of becoming old news now at this point. Kermi is still the company, but as Brittany mentioned, we did acquire YarnLab. So therefore, we're more than one product now. Kermi is the company. Flow, which you've always known as Kermi Provisioning Suite, is now the product. Same thing. We still answer to the old name, but it does mean, if you see us actually say the other, but it really is meant to be that we improve your workflows. So that's how we actually got the name.
One-upping the marketing person here. I love it. No, you're right to call that out. We only just rebranded and renamed the product in September, and it is a big milestone for us. You'll see how that reflects also in our new interface, spoiler alert, that is out with this new release. But yeah, as Jeff said, it really better reflects what we're doing. As a 15-year-old company, we have grown, expanded, really to meet our customers' needs, and Flow just better fit that bill of what we're doing. Very right to point that out. Thank you for that. So resetting a bit and just talking, how did we get here? UC ecosystems are shifting, everything, a lot of things are moving to the cloud. And with that, you're adding more and more UC systems to your tech stack. And so, what we're hearing from our customers, what we're seeing in the market from people we're talking to, multi-vendor environments are the norm. And again, that's not just your UC systems like your Webex or your Teams. That's also your SBCs needed to make sure that they're actually running properly. Your E911, emergency services, your call recording, contact centers, more. You've really got a plethora now of UC tools in your tech stack. And on that, I'm actually going to publish a poll, just also asking, asking everyone in the audience, how many of these are you guys managing? I took a guess at the numbers. I'm going to be curious if most everyone says more than 8. And I am working on getting this published because there we go. Got to find the right buttons. Okay, so down at the bottom, you should see the polls kind of square button. If you can click that, and then let us know how many you're managing. We're really curious about that. Jeff, do you have anything to add on that?
Well, you really kind of think about it, it is, you might even have an acquisition where one company was using Cisco, another company was using Avaya. Now you have 2 platforms to be able to manage. Well, not even that, but also then if you're migrating between a legacy technology and a cloud-based technology, now you're managing multiple platforms. So regardless, then you're looking at, you have to log out, log back in, log out, log back in. And you've got those 5 to 7 different platforms between call recording and E911 and everything else you have to go and set up. Put it all again, here comes again, all into one workflow. So therefore, in making you a lot easier and actually be able to do things a lot faster as well. So that's really kind of where the main benefit to including flow into the rest of the UC stack also just makes a lot more sense. It speeds everything else along, makes things just a lot faster as well. But really, it is that final bullet point that you're being asked to do so much more. It's no longer, hey, can I just get a phone on my desk? Now it's going to get a phone on my desk and a soft phone. Oh, and by the way, it also needs to have virtual lines set up. And by the way, I also need to manage my licenses for Microsoft on here as well. And doing all of this all at once, we basically put it all into one common workflow instead.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So interesting results here, seeing an even split for the answer group of 5 to 7, and then more than 8. But no one here is managing just one UC system anymore, which I'm not surprised. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Yeah, so that's really the root and the heart of our conversation here today, and always, the last 2 bullets here that Jeff touched on, manual administration is costly. You're jumping in and out of multiple platforms. Things aren't always adding up. You're entering the same information. A typo is costly. It's just, you don't want to do that anymore. And then you're also being asked to do more, often with less as well. And we're also seeing this shift where UC is really becoming more of the integrated IT teams. I think IT covers so many different responsibilities, and we're seeing more alignment really with UC and broader IT, especially with the advent of ITSM platforms like ServiceNow. With that, so if you're not new to Flow, you've seen this around already. If you are new to Flow, Flow is your single platform to manage your entire ecosystem. However many technologies you add to your tech stack, or if you've got more workflows, more things that you're doing, we can handle it all. And obviously then more and more automation. We're building more and more capabilities, and our integration with ServiceNow is really key to that. But then also just the advancements to our APIs, figuring that out so that if you don't use ServiceNow, you can also connect to other things as well. Jeff.
Yeah, it's really also that kind of that bottom right-hand corner, Flow SDK. It's really going to be, bring us what you got. We're going to find a way to actually make it work as well. So it is, we will find a way to actually make these systems actually be able to all connect together and make it all. So again, it all falls under making it very simple, very easy to use, as opposed to having a very complex, overly complex system that we're all dealing with today.
Yeah. And that brings us to Flow 9.1 and how we are taking UC management further. The big thing that you guys will notice this release is a refreshed, more intuitive interface. Everything from your workflows, how you're doing things, it is more streamlined. We're excited to share some new widgets and just better ways to manage within Flow. We've also got deeper connections into the tools that you're using. So we'll highlight today Webex and Teams, but there are definitely advancements made to other integrations as well. And this covers, with everything moving to the cloud, Cisco or Microsoft, they can always add new features to their UCaaS solutions. And so we're keeping up with all of those changes and adding them into Flow so that you can manage them from the platform. And then we've got this theme of control, being able to better manage your numbers, your DIDs, everything from your extensions, all from Flow with our enhanced number management. So a lot of work has gone into that, starting, I think, 2 releases ago, but really we're, continuing to innovate on that and bring that home. With that, I will say I will stop talking because we're really here to see all of these things up close. So let's dive in. And Jeff, I think we are starting with that refreshed interface.
Yeah, 2 slides ago, there's really kind of that word intuitive. And it really is meant to be that the new interface, and by the way, if you happen to be a cloud customer already, this was upgraded last week, you're already seeing it, you're already experiencing it. It is more intuitive. There are things that are in there now that make more sense of where we put some things. It's cleaner, it's more modern, it's going to have some of those things that where you would have actually been expecting them instead. So if you like, I can actually just pull up and show you what the new interface actually looks like. Give you a quick, just real tour. No functionality is removed. Only some things have been added instead. So yeah, I can go ahead and show you how this looks. So you're going to see just overall looks a little bit different. Like I said, all this functionality is actually the same. Still the same things. You're going to be creating users. You can be able to look at where your users are at, where their packages are at, how they're actually being used. Being able to interactively actually see where your tickets are actually being used, which is great when the help desk does something to you. Your user information is now moved from the bottom left-hand corner to the upper right-hand corner, making it a little bit easier to find. The search bar is now more centrally located right in the middle. But the thing I really like is also we've put directly on here as well, is we have put under the favorites as well, we've already saved everything. So all you have to do is go through and put those menus, highlight them. Now they're going to show up under your favorites. So those menus that are hidden a few layers deep, you'll still be able to actually find them a lot easier instead. So take those common ones you actually use all the time.
Great. I'm getting us back to our presentation.
Sure.
I didn't mention this when we started, but as we go through these demos, if you do have questions, feel free to drop them in there. There's a questions button. It should be probably right next to the polls for you guys. Feel free to add your questions there. We will likely tackle them all at the end. But definitely drop them as they come up for you guys, so you're not holding on to them and you don't forget them. And with that, Webex.
We have made significant moves forward with Webex in the last several months. There is also going to be additional changes coming as well. The biggest thing that I keep hearing from everyone is now we support the 9800 phones. That also means we also support activation codes on the 9800 phones. So I'll show you that in just a moment as well. But there's other things as well, like being able to set up the voicemails, properly set up the voicemail greetings for either busy or no answers within Webex as well. Call pickup notifications, and also being able to properly sync back and forth to AD as well. which was a big thing because there's still a lot, even though WebEx is mostly cloud-based, AD is still self-hosted. It's going to, actually is going to be helping out with it quite a bit. If you like, I'll go ahead and actually just show you real quickly the kind of a few of the things, how we're now have integrated some of those changes in with WebEx instead. So we're going to start out with favorites of exactly where we need to go. And again, because we actually work with Active Directory, we'll start there. I will go ahead and pick a user that needs to be created. And I will grab them. You'll notice there's no phone number there yet. There's nothing there. We have their department, very limited information, but let's go ahead and just create them. We pull them in. We already know their department. We already know that they've been set into WebEx calling. So that's great. They've already had their phone number already pre-assigned. Their PIN and password is already assigned. Yeah, but we need to go ahead and make sure that they have a device added. We're going to add one. And you could set this up as a default as well. We're just kind of doing this for demonstration purposes. And just for this, I want to make sure I'm going to use an activation code. I don't want to have to find a MAC address for it. So I am going to grab a 9851, make sure it gets added. I don't have anything. I will actually go ahead and add them into a virtual line group as well in this case, making it very simple, all in one common workflow. There it is again. But we're going to do it immediately. And that's it. That's all it took to actually be able to have, instead of having to go through pages and pages and process, that's done. This is actively calling out to WebEx right now, making the change, making sure it's actually going there. Sorry, it's taking a second there. Okay, but that's already done. Green means good. You can see now they actually have their phone number in Active Directory where that's actually been used. Going back to my favorites again, I want to see if they're actually there with users. I go and I find Carolyn again, who I just created. I'm going to go and check her services. And look, there's her phone number again. We know she's already been set up. We know her package. And now we know as well that she's been added to WebEx. We know that she has a virtual line. We know she has a device. We know everything about it. Really fast and simple.
Very fast and simple. I am also tempted to offer you a job on the marketing team.
Oh, great, thanks.
Oh. I mean, all of the puns. I'm here for a good pun. And with that, Microsoft is our next deeper integration.
The main integration changes we really made to Microsoft is really around call queues and auto attendance. And one of the main issues we have is that you do a lot of the functions in Teams Admin Center. You do a lot of the functions in PowerShell, but call queues and auto attendance are only in the Teams app. So it's quite a bit different how you actually be able to handle those as well. So it's a little bit different of how we actually want to be able to do some of these things instead. So just quickly how to show you instead of having to figure out this third other process and where this function actually lies, I can show you real quickly how we actually just go ahead and quickly create a call queue much faster than even using the Teams app instead. So again, we're going to start out on favorites. We're going to just create, we have a quick feature that we created to do this, where we're going to go ahead and just allocate a department. We're going to say it's Berlin in this case. It automatically assigned a package. We knew it was going to be that it's going to be shared across multiple users. We're going to say it's going to be Berlin. We're going to give it a little bit more information to it. We need to assign it a policy or a principal name. Sorry, we need to actually find a user it's going to be used against. Where it's going to be used. We already know it's going to be used in this case in Germany. Just need to give it a quick name. And some of this could also be pre-populated for you if you know these are things that are going to automatically be used every single time. Who's going to be a part of your call queue in this case? We'll search for a user. That's a good one. And then who's going to be the principal and who needs to be authorized for it. That's it. You have now, again, already created this. That can also then be applied to other users. Keeps you in the same interface. Allows you to also pass this off to a help desk to be able to do the same thing without having to give them full admin rights to a Teams admin right to actually be able to go in and change this. So it makes it a lot easier in that case as well.
Definitely. I do want to quickly call out the last bullet here as well. And I don't know if we've seen it yet.
Sure.
The new widgets.
Oh yeah, I didn't
You're
actually have
totally
this ready to
fine.
demonstrate. Sure, yeah, you can actually look at it and actually see all of your licenses being able to be managed, and then also directly through the Flow interface, you can also update and manage your Microsoft licenses, your E5 licenses, et cetera, and how you actually need to put those in. One of the other things that's not listed on here, we can also manage the resource accounts for MTRs also. So, which makes everybody's life a little easier too, instead again having to go out to a separate process and go through the whole thing. We can also do it right in the Flow interface too.
Definitely. And then keeping us on track here. We are just, 2 more demos. We're good. Enhanced number management. What did we do here?
So one of the key tenets has always been with Kermi is we've transitioned basically everybody off of the old spreadsheet, which is it's always out of date, and you never know exactly what's in use, and that's been fantastic for years. However, there were some things that were lacking. So what we did instead was we actually went through and we actually started looking at some of these things instead, and also really kind of made it much more modernized. How is the number being used? Where is it being used? But some of the other things that are really exciting, if you're using Call Manager and Webex, and you need to use the same number and the same dial plan, always before you had to have 2 dial plans for the same thing and manually go in and kind of reserve the number out on the other side. Now, we're going to show you some ideas of tags in the sense that now you can have it where if it's 10-digit on Call Manager and an E164 on Webex, you can use the same dial plan. It'll automatically know to actually go and assign those. So yeah, I can show you this actually real quick and how this is going to work, and it's going to how this is actually going to make things a little bit easier for you as well. Same thing also going back to the widgets, it was on there too. But let's start out with, again, favorites, because it's going to where we're actually going to use this. So I'll just again start just creating a user real quickly. Just in this case, it can be a little bit more random before we're actually just going to how we're actually going to be creating, because this is more universal in this case. That little bit updated look and feel now instead. So numbers are still automatically created. We'll go ahead and say that they're a Call Manager user instead now. But the number's already been created, but if I want to go in and actually change this or look at more details around it as well, for both extensions on Call Manager or I can look at either just the available numbers to me or finding out ones that are already in use. So this is where you're going to see the tags, where it can be used, how it could be used. It could be used on Call Manager, it could be used on Webex, could be E164, could be just reserved for an analog line. And in that case, it's not going to show up if it's not available for this particular package. Makes your life a lot easier also, really, to be able to do some of these things too. So you're just getting more information really around where this user is going to be used instead and how it's actually going to be taking place. So it's now we can actually look at, we've just created that line. We can find more information also about this line that was just created, so that now we look at it and we see this, we'll see where it's in use, how it was being used, by who, all the other details that were not necessarily there in the past. So this feature is being rolled out on the cloud. It will be there by the end of the year for everyone, for anyone who's self-hosted. If you would like to migrate to the new feature, you are welcome to do so when you also upgrade to 9.1 or at a later date. So it is there. There's also going to be additional enhancements coming to it too, but it is a vast improvement over what was there in the past.
It's an even better improvement over managing out of a spreadsheet and wondering which version is the right version.
And nobody knows, so they just call the number anyway. And if somebody answers, that one's in use.
Okay. Oh, didn't mean to bother you. Anyway, let's move on to our ServiceNow app and everything we are doing with ServiceNow, because it's pretty cool.
So ServiceNow is really that we are kind of revamping things. And Brittany, I know you have also a new update on this as well, kind of how Kermi is also working with ServiceNow as well.
Yeah, we are officially a select partner within the build track. And so that's really exciting. We actually just got that badge recently. And so I'm putting it on everything. But that's just a testament of how much we are working with ServiceNow. We also are a sponsor at ServiceNow Knowledge in May. So if you are headed to the conference in Las Vegas, or if anyone from your team is, we would love to talk to them and say hi and show them even more about what we're doing with ServiceNow.
So one of the things also really to kind of mention is that we have historically always used the SOAP API. It's still in place, but we're also switching over to using REST API as well. So therefore, if we're using REST, we're going to have a lot more capabilities. But one of the really cool things that ServiceNow is doing is actually switching to an AI agent. So instead of even just giving an interface off to a help desk who may be very familiar with it, if you even want to just give this same level of functionality into anyone who's onboarding them, a non-technical resource, and they need to start asking questions, well, let's go ahead and show you kind of what this is actually going to look like instead. We can do this through an AI agent now instead through the ServiceNow app for you instead. This isn't necessarily to replace the app that will still be used by help desks or to replace our zero-touch integration. This is just a third method we'll also be able to do this as well.
Yeah, it just adds to being able to do it from the ServiceNow catalog. Okay, I will pull up that.
This is really pretty cool. So it's basically going to be asking human questions of, I need to add a user. Great, tell me more about it. And you'll see it's going to be kind of thinking in the background. They won't necessarily be seeing the rest of this. They'd be seeing the chat bot instead. And it's going to say, okay, great. Where do they need to go? What do they need? I know they need a phone. And human response. Based in the US? Great. Okay. And then it's going to go through and say, fantastic. Where in the US? It's going to go ahead and automatically select a phone number because it's really also going to be, while ServiceNow is also calling back out to Kermi or to Flow, Flow is also going to be calling out to all the other systems to make sure these things are going to be happening too. Know if they need Webex, it's going to go ahead and grab, so it's going to assign their package. It's going to give them their phone number. Everything is basically done for them as well. And it's been selected, everything is done, and it's actually giving them still a choice to actually select a number. So they want that one. And planning the next steps, there we go. Done.
Amazing.
Chuck's got a number. So for non-technical audiences, you can actually be able to use this as well.
We did get a question about this that I do want to address while we're on it, and we'll not save it for the end. So is this within ServiceNow in Kermi with a ServiceNow front end? No. So this is all within ServiceNow within how they're pushing all of their agentic AI. So this is a ServiceNow agent that is then connected to Flow. So all of the logic and everything, it's branching out through Flow. But this will, you'll set this up in ServiceNow, and then your service desk or whoever you give access to will use it from ServiceNow.
Great. So, and I'm going to go into a little bit more detail here as well, just kind of add on to what Brittany said as well, is that, so there's 3 different ways that Flow interacts with ServiceNow. One is a standardized app, and it's the most common functions, move, add, change, delete, the things you would do on a daily basis. Really simple workflow, very simple interface, something that a help desk is going to be used to seeing. That's in the ServiceNow app.
That gives you catalog options.
Right. Yeah. And it'll call out to Flow and make those changes. If instead you would like to take it to a next level and you even want to remove that interface, ticket comes in and it fires off and it says new user. User is going to be located, in our case on the example here, in New Orleans. They're going to be a Webex user. They're going to be by default to be a Webex user. Go ahead and grab them a phone number. You can also have this set up completely as zero touch. No interface then, but it will automatically calls out through Flow out to the various systems, out to Webex, out to if they needed to add on Red Sky for E911 through Webex, etc. Calls out to everyone all at once, closes the ticket, everything's done. And in this case, then Chuck would have his own phone number. This third version is the new version that also comes along with us integrating with REST API now, and ServiceNow is just releasing this, which is the agent AI version of being able to do the same thing. So instead, it makes it more flexible of saying, well, I can't find what I want in the catalog. It will also be able to answer some of these questions instead. But this is the ServiceNow interface.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, so many ways of integrating ServiceNow with Flow, really based off of what we are looking to accomplish, and we're happy to have those conversations on an individual case basis to make sure that it really works for you. And I think that was our last demo.
I believe so.
We're mostly on time. So this was really just the highlight reel of 9.1 and what's in it. But if you're curious how to get 9.1, if you are on our production instance, you're one of our SaaS customers on our cloud, your update it's ready. You were updated last week. So definitely log in, check out what's new. If you are self-hosting, whether that means it's on-premise or your own cloud, reach out to your customer success manager to discuss what your upgrade options are and the timeline. It could be a standalone upgrade. We can discuss maintenance plus, which includes an upgrade a year. Or if you're curious about moving to our cloud, we can definitely talk about that. And then, if you move to our cloud, you are always up to date with Flow, and you don't have to plan for the upgrades.
You get your Saturday nights back, so you don't have to do upgrades on the weekends anymore. We do the upgrades for you.
No one wants to do upgrades on the weekends.
Everybody hates them.
So wrapping up what we talked about today, we talked about the new experience, again, using the word that Jeff likes so much is it's more intuitive. And, your workflows are more streamlined. The buttons make sense. You've got your favorites. Yeah, definitely different. And I know there's more to come on that too in future releases. So just continue to, look and see what comes. Depth, extended integrations into Webex and Teams. And again, there are other platforms that we didn't mention, but there are some updates as well across some of the other integrations. And then the new number management, which is also going to continue to improve over time, but it's a heck of a lot better than it was. And then we ended with the REST API-powered ServiceNow app with AI agent support. Any final thoughts, Jeff?
No, I think we're really trying to make sure, like I said, things are meant to be more of a intuitive is really that word. If we're not only going to be improving your workflows across your UC systems, also the Flow platform needs to be more, be able to also be more streamlined also. And I think that's really what our ultimate goal has been, and the direction we're really moving.
Yeah, no, it's definitely an exciting time to be a part of the team and everything that we're working on. And we hope you feel the excitement as well out there. So again, if you're totally new to Flow and you want a demo, hit us up, reach out on the website. You can either scan the QR code or go to kermi-software.com/request-a-demo. If you are an existing customer or partner and you also want a demo, but you're not quite sure who to reach out to, fill out the same form. We'll direct you to the right person, or reach out via email to whoever your contact is. And with that, we will dive into the Q&A. This first one is about favorites, Jeff. So I'll let you take it, but it's basically does the marking of favorites on the menu cross over from tenant to tenant in an MSP or multi-tenant environment?
Honestly, no. And it really is meant to be that every user And so it doesn't even necessarily translate between tenant to tenant. It's also from user to user. So I may like to have things set up in one way, and someone else may want to have something set up in a different way. So it's meant to really be personalized of how you actually want to see things and where you want to really be able to put them. All the widgets are there, but it might be that a help desk person may not care about the licenses, but an engineer may care about all the tickets. Or, so it just kind of depends on how where they actually would want to actually be able to see things and what's actually going to be easiest for them as well. So it's but it's what they think is also going to be valuable. So you could recommend it, and it takes seconds because it is literally just going to star the menu you actually need to have, and it pops directly into your favorites.
Got it. Okay, looking through these, we've got another one about number management. Can I import phone numbers into Flow if Flow isn't managing them?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that especially unused EIDs, or even that especially say for analog devices, or even if they're separate platforms. Absolutely, it still gives you a central repository for looking at all of your numbers and really kind of looking at everything on one common platform again. So it really makes your life a heck of a lot easier.
Oh, this was a follow-up to, we got a follow-up for the favorites thing. Thinking of it as a template for engineers or customer admins, perhaps. Anything to go back to on that?
We could, but this is going to be one of those complicated questions. We might want to take it offline, because we could potentially actually set up a system within using our Sunrise system and a self-hosted system that would be able to that we could potentially redeploy the same tenant over and over again, and then just have those actually as being a setting that's already put in place. So
Okay.
it could be done. We just probably want to dig in a little deeper on to really kind of properly go through it. But yeah, I think it could likely be done.
Okay. Steve, we will reach out to you and follow up on this. Yes. Great. Last question, unless anyone sneaks in, but last question. How can I add a connector that I saw today to my Flow instance?
If you already excuse me, if you're already deployed, and especially if it is one of those things you're moving again from a legacy self-hosted platform to a cloud platform, you can reach out to your customer success manager. We're happy to actually we add in additional services, and also even help with the migration between platforms, whether that be between Call Manager and Webex, either DI or MT, or if it's also between Avaya and Microsoft Teams. We're able to support kind of also helping out with those functions as well. And then along the way, you're also able to still see all of your users in the same platforms in there as well. Or if you're expanding and say that you also do have now Red Sky because you've deployed Webex as well, and you want to add that in, fantastic. We can also add those on as well. The adding connectors is usually not very difficult. We just need to we make sure that we securely have all the information on both sides. We can make sure that we are discovering the information from you and making sure everything's also going to be working as well. But it's we do this all the time, and because we understand that these systems are getting more and more complex.
It goes back to the flexible configuration. We had a full circle moment here. Great. That, I believe, is all we had. If you do have any questions that come up, please reach out to us. We're happy to help, happy to discuss. And yeah, we hope you learned a little bit more about our new release. Stay tuned for more webinars in the future, whether it's about a release or a specific technology. We try to host several a year. And yeah, thank you for attending today.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.